Hi guys, welcome to our Toki TV, our gathering each and every week for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. A lot of folks here in the San Juan Islands. I just want to real quick give everyone the opportunity to say your name, where you're from, because you're this big for people watching on their phone. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Casey.
Casey from Minneapolis.
Stephanie from Minnesota.
Alma from Key West, Florida.
Elliot from Des Moines, Washington. Q from Florida.
Elizabeth from New Mexico.
Christina from Washington.
Marcia from Florida, but maybe not for long.
And I'm here with this wonderful group. Just so everyone knows, we just saw some orcas. So we were all running around we were all running around. So we just sat down to be with you for a very special Toki TV today. Super blessed to be joined by Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut to share with us just recent days. Ma, do you want to say hello?
Hi everyone, good to be here. Hi, love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Deb Cruz. So talkative. Howard?
Hello, everyone. Glad you could join us and good to see everybody.
Deborah?
Hi, family. Love you.
All right. So not that we're not all great and wonderful and we all want to sit and stare at each other, but I'm going to have Ray now. We're just going to turn this over to you because we're all here to hear what you have to say. And just thank you again for being with us today and sharing this time with us.
Well, I just want to start out with our traditional way, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. This has been a week of traditional and cultural work, and it's been everything that's needed to fulfill her journey home to the Sk'aliCh'elh. And everybody has been working through this process this week in their own way. And the best way I know to start out is with her sunrise, with her birth in 1966. And her sunset was August 18th, 1923. On Tuesday, September 19th, Councilwoman from the Lummi Indian Business Council, Rosa Reeve Jacobs, and myself boarded flights from Seattle to Georgia so that we could go to the auditorium to do ceremony the following morning and to begin the journey home for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So on September 19th, we left our hotel in Atlanta hopped in a car with Eduardo Albor from the Dolphin Company, from Dr. Sanchez, the lead vet for the Dolphin Company. And we took about a 45-minute ride to the crematorium where Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut was. And the people at the crematorium were wonderful. They had her set up in a private room because we had asked to do private ceremony for her to prepare her for her journey home within hours from our arrival. So we went in and we brushed her off with cedar boughs to remove anything negative that had been on her, because a lot of people had touched her. A lot of people had been around her. Just wanted to remove that, and we put them in a bag and gave them to the staff at the crematorium and asked them to burn them so nothing would come back on her. We covered her in a shroud to protect her on her journey, and then we laid cedar boughs on top of her, sacred cedar, to protect her in her journey. I drummed to her, sang to her, talked about all the things I knew she loved. She loved swimming fast. She loved music. And I wanted her to feel good about beginning this journey, that we were here to carry her home, and I wouldn't leave her. I would be with her from that moment until she went back to the Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So it was beautiful to have her cleaned, wrapped in protection, and to start the journey in a good way with joy and peace and comfort in her heart. She then was loaded in to begin her trip to the airport. We followed Councilwoman Rosemary V. Jacobs. Doesn't do well with motion sickness and small planes. So she didn't get in the car with Eduardo and with Dr. Sanchez. It was me, and we began our journey to the airport, and it felt good. It felt like she was excited and ready. I was excited and ready. And we got to the airport. They didn't put her in cargo. They put her in the Learjet in front with us. She was still covered, still had her cedar, and they strapped her down. And I put my hand on her and told her, we're in the plane. We're going to take off. We're going to stop in Omaha to refuel, and then we'll head to Bellingham. So, you know, the Learjets are quite fast. And we took off. I told her before I got out, we're in Omaha. We're going to gas up. We're going to head to Bellingham. So we got off, and plane fueled up, got back in, took off, told her we're going to be in Bellingham shortly. And before I deplaned in Bellingham, I laid my hands on her again and said, you're home, you're in Bellingham. And I prepared the best greeting possible, given the circumstances that a lot of the, you know, celebration and events had changed for the following week, but we were going to keep with her traditional cultural ways. And so we deplaned, and I had arranged for a white hearse for her. They had arranged for a police escort for her. She deplaned, she got in the hearse. We took off with honor and respect, took her to her place of safety, security. We didn't want anybody to know where she was. So she lay in place of honor for the next couple of days. And it was beautiful when we set her up at her place when we arrived. And I did the same thing, put my hands on her, said, you're in Bellingham. You're gonna stay here for 2 days, and then I'll come get you, and we'll continue your journey home, your final journey to the Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. And it was wonderful. I felt she was safe and secure. She was happy. She was ready. So that was on Wednesday. On Saturday morning, went to where she was in a custom-made shroud with her name, with her logo, her Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut on it, covered in orca colors, black and white fringe, and put the cedar back on her. And we took her from her place of honor and put her in the hearse. And we went down to Sk'aliCh'elh Harbor, where I told her she was going to board the boat to go out to the sacred place to be joined with the Sk'aliCh'elh for sacred ceremony. And she was excited. It just felt really good. So who knew that she would go from Miami to Georgia to Bellingham Airport, lie in place of honor to wait her final journey to the Sk'aliCh'elh. It was just comforting to have her right there, in the plane all along. And I checked on her. I went and visited her and told her I'm still here. You've got another day. It'll be good. And she was secure and safe. And then on Saturday is when her transport was going to be to the Sk'aliCh'elh. So loaded her back up in the hearse, went down to told her, you're going to be greeted by my Solomon family. Ray Solomon and his family would be there to pray over you, to greet you with song and drum. So when we pulled into the harbor, they were all there to welcome her, prayed over her, and began the procession from the hearse down to the Lummi law enforcement boat. And as we do, is halfway to where we're going, we turn her. That's our tradition, so we turned her. And then we proceeded to the boat she was loaded on for her final journey. And the Lummi Indian Business Council, I've been meeting with them since the day of her passing as to how this work would unfold, who would be there for it. Final journey. So it was Councilman Nick Lewis. It was Skipper Aaron Hilaire, who had done a lot of skipper work with us on that very same boat with our late Chief Salik doing ceremonial feeding. So he had volunteered to be the skipper, which was just perfect. And it was Ellie Kinley, it was Al Scott Johnny and his 4 helpers. He's our spiritual traditional practitioner, and myself. So we boarded up, and as we were getting ready to leave, there was a parting in the dark skies that was just brilliant, a golden, bright gold. And I posted that this morning or yesterday. It's all a blur, sorry. Posted and said, her ashes sea. So as we were departing the harbor, it felt good. It was everyone that should be on the boat was. Everybody came in a good way for her. The send-off was beautiful with Ray Solomon and his family, my cousins. I was honored that they asked to do that work. And as we were heading out, the Coast Guard joined us. They were there for protection and to ensure there was no interruption by anybody so that the work can be done in a good way, uninterrupted. But we had a last minute request the afternoon before. As you all know, we've had a lot of deaths in our community. And one of our folks who is burying his daughter had asked, could we go by the Squamish grounds and let them pay their respects to her? And so we did. I was able to arrange that. So we did. We sat on the water in front of the Snowish grounds that was lined with Dana Wilson and his family. And we just sat there and let them pray and send their love to her. And then, as tradition goes, the boat spun to let them see her. It felt good. We felt their love. And we took off, Coast Guard following. And it took us quite some time to get to the sacred spot. And when we knew it was right, we started us off with a prayer, praying over her, praying to ancestors, praying to the water, praying to Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. And then it was time to spread her ashes. It was so surreal. These are tears of happiness and joy. Because it was what needed to happen for her human remains to be rejoined with the water, to join her spirit that had already left. So it took some time to get the ashes in the water. And we did it traditionally. We each took turns putting ashes in the water. And when that work was done, Al prayed over a salmon. As we did that offering to Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut orcas, as we did that offering to the water in honor of her and the Lakhtamish people. So the salmon went into the water. And then we prayed, we all prayed together that that part of the work was done. And then we went into a sacred ceremony that I can't share with you, but it is part of our traditional cultural work. And the work went well. The work was beautiful. It was healing for all of those that witnessed it. It was joyful for all of those that witnessed it. It made ancestors happy. It made her family happy. And I felt her spirit leaving me. That connection was different. She went. And I was happy because she was whole. But I felt it. They prayed over me. Because as joyful and as beautiful and meaningful it had to be, it was still our difference in our connection. Now I have to figure out the connection now is in a spiritual energy, no longer joined in the physical, but now with the spirit. And so I was just so proud of my people, my tribe, for continuing to do the good work for her, because she's our relative, she's my relative. To do this for her, to send her off after all she's endured, what she has taught us is just more than any one person I'm aware of has changed the world. She did that. And she has left us with that. And I just want to raise my hands in love and respect to ancestors for clearing her path home, for guiding me through all of this work, to her family, for enduring the pain, for sharing her, for having the faith that she would return home, that have loved her, prayed for her, and still do. and to the Dolphin Company for keeping their promise, returning her. They did. To friends at Toki for caring for her. To the entire care team that cared for her and is still caring for Lee, that loved her, love her, and will always have that connection with her. Hi, Sk'aliCh'elh, I love you. And to my tribe, my community, my people, my tribal council for entrusting this work to me to carry out. It's an honor. Hi, Sk'aliCh'elh. Her legacy continues. Hi, Sk'aliCh'elh.
I want to just see if anybody there on the screen, Howard, Ma, Alejandro, Deb, if any of you, I know we all want to give our gratitude, but if there's anything else you guys want to say or ask Raynell, Deb, I'll let you manage the muting and unmuting. Oh, Deb didn't have her earphones. There we go.
That's exactly what I want to say is to express gratitude. You, Raynell, to the Lummi people for carrying out this work, this spiritual work for us and allowing us to be with you in it and witness with you. It's so valuable, so important. We would have been just sort of lost in a haze, but we have now the way of returning her to the Salish Sea, to her ancestors, to the spirit world. And we all are a part of that. And I am so grateful to you for bringing us along.
Hi, Sk'aliCh'elh. Tears of joy, pure joy, and she's glorious. So honored to have known her and have her as now one of my spirit guides.
Mhm. Yeah, she has been my guide for quite a while, and all the more so now. Yes.
Thank you so much, Raynell. I want to express my gratitude, like Howard said. Her ashes finally return home, and the Dolphin Company, keep the promise. So thank you everyone for supporting all this process. It's not the way we want it, but she's finally home. She's with ancestors. It's in the Lummi Nation territory. I hope the healing starts soon for the whole. This is like a puzzle, for the whole environment, for the salmon, and see if we can keep fighting for breaching the dams to help Toki's family, the Southern Residents Orca, Lummi people, So let's keep up the good work. It is what it is, as it is. So thank you for everything. Thank you for everything.
Hi, Sk'aliCh'elh, Alejandro, because you mentioned something really key, and Howard said it as well. It's time for the healing. It's time to begin the work on her legacy. Our late Chief Sk'aliCh'elh had said when they stole her in 1970, that strand in our web of life was broken. When we bring her home, it'll heal her family, and it'll heal us as our people need this healing. So hi, Sk'aliCh'elh, for that reminder, Alejandro.
My gratitude. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you, Raynell. Those two words don't seem enough for the amount of feeling and gratitude that we have and I have for giving Toki what she deserved, and that was just absolutely perfect. I'm sure everyone could feel her being at peace. I know I did. And believe me, you won't have to try and figure out how she's going to connect, how you're going to connect to her, because that's what she does at her best. And she's so strong in spirit now. But again, we will carry on with Toki's legacy. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut.
I just want to say a Haishka to you, Raynell. You are such a beautiful soul, and that you would share this part of this journey with the whole world, and the courage that has taken to do that is thank you. And love and respect to the Lummi people for sharing their daughter with us and with the whole world. The miracle whale and her legacy has really just now begun. I love you guys so much.
Deb Cruz, is there anything you want to say before we go around the table here?
Love you, lady. Right now. Love all of you too. And ready to get down to some business.
We'll go around table. Is there anything you guys would like to say to Raynell or to each other or to the team? Now is the time to do it. We'll start on this side.
Just Haishka right now for everything you've done for her. Yeah.
Just overwhelmed with emotion from your story, Raynell. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's been a big day of closure for us all and healing, and it feels whole now. So thank you, Haishka.
Love you.
Haishka Siam Raynell, thank you for leading this sacred work and returning Toki, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut to the Salish Sea with Lummi. Beautiful ceremony from what you've told us. And we're so grateful that Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut is back here healing that broken strand of life and allowing us to continue this good work, as Howard and Alondra said. And yesterday, when we got here, I had heard the traditional ceremony work was done, and I knew Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut was back in the Salish Sea. So I went down to the sea and I put my hands into the water, and I could feel her presence. And I closed my eyes and I just put myself out there to connect with her. And I sat there for a while. Something touched my hand. It felt like somebody was reaching out to hold my hand, and I closed my hand, and this driftwood floated up into my hand, and it had the kelp that the elpod Toki's family is so fond of, and Toki likes to play with. And I felt that was her message to me. The shore is a sacred place where worlds meet. The water, the sea meets the land, spiritual meets the physical, soul meets the soul. And so I'm going to carry this with me on my journey to do this sacred work with you all. And I just want to thank you right now, Haishka Sam and Lummi, for leading us, and ready to begin the next phase for Toki's legacy. Thank you. Haishka.
Haishka Siam.
Haishka Raynell, my heart to your heart, and Haishka to the whole Toki pod. And thank you. I'm so honored to be part of this. And yes, let's continue and breach those dams. Haishka.
Well, first of all, I'm grateful
for you sharing your story with us right now, because it is beautiful and empowering, because she is in the ocean. She is back with her family in spirit. And as Elliot, this morning, I was in the water and I held my hands onto the water and I could feel her. I really could feel her presence. And it was beautiful and overwhelming. And just knowing that she's back in the sea is amazing. And I'm really grateful for everything that everyone has done, but I'm mostly grateful for her and everything that she's taught me, because she's taught me a lot and she's still teaching. So I love you all. Thank you, Rainelle. Hashka.
Hi.
I echo everyone's words, and just so much honor and grace with you, Rainelle, and everybody involved, and everyone who loved Toki. I knew she was going to change the world the day I met her. I just didn't know how. And now that work begins. And like Christina said, we went into the sea this morning, and it just was so peaceful. And we could feel the essence of her vibrating through it like a billion suns. It's whole now, like the circle is complete. And that is our message: to fight more, fight for her family. Now we're a stronger team with her pushing us and guiding us and teaching us. And so thank you so much to everyone. She knew how loved she was and is. She still feels it. So I just want to thank everyone. Much love to everybody.
Hashka, Rainelle, for sharing this journey with us. Knowing that you were there and part of and caring for and protecting and guiding, knowing how you are guided by your ancestors is very comforting for me, and I'm sure for many, many people. I find it very interesting that we all had similar ideas on this morning when we went out. We walked into the water and just put our hands gently on top, similar to what you just said. And none of us did that together. I mean, it was just what we did. And there's a gentleness to that that I imagine was her gentleness. And because you can feel that, but it was just gentle. It was calm. It was sweet. It was loving. And we all had that same experience. And to me, that's just another way and another, it's just Toki, right? It's just Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut saying, yeah, she was there, and connecting us in many, many ways, which she will continue to do. But Hashka, for not just sharing it with us, but being who you've been this entire time for her. I'm going to take us off of being on the big screen, but just really it's comforting, you know, and that's been this week, as up and down and all over the place as it's been. It's comforting because that part of the work is done, and so blessed that she is home. And just thank you to everyone. I could just go on, but you know.
Well, I do have to share, when we pulled back into the harbor, because the boat was lighter, we were lighter, there was a real sense of things were done well, they were done the right way, and we each had love in our hearts and hope, and could see that the healing just on that boat with who was there begun. But the rain started coming down, you know, real hard. And so it was cleansing to go from the boat to the car and having it just rain. It was just so welcoming to let it run over you and feel like the perfect way ancestors always know how to end the work. They just do. And I'm grateful for it because it just allowed us all to go on our way, cleansed with love and joy in our heart, and the healing for us with the journey we've gone through with her. The healing's begun.
Another symbol, the rain.
It was.
We were just talking to Catherine in Florida today, and she asked if there was any signs. And I said, yesterday morning when we all woke up, knowing the work that was about to be done, there was a really gentle rain. And Catherine reminded of when we did the vigil outside, there was rain.
She passed. It was really
The rain is healing, cleaning and healing.
Yeah.
And just so beautiful for it to have been right when we got off the boat. They just know. I mean, they're magical. They know. So blessed. So blessed.
I was trying to add the photo, but it's not going to let me add the photo. Oh, boy. Howard? Can you unmute Howard?
Probably a good thing. I'm struggling for what to say because I'm just overwhelmed with the feeling of real peace. Last. It's been a cross current of emotions of grief and anger and regret and sorrow and responsibility, but not knowing what to do. And this has so helped me to feel the spiritual power, the power of one heart and one mind to bless this moment, this coming home, this transition to the spirit world. This has helped inform me. I feel like I'm a child learning a new way of life here because this is so new to me, and yet it is so fulfilling and so important. And I'm taking it in, and it's changing me. It's making me a different person, more, I guess, reverent, thankful, and open to spiritual power and unseen forces that I see signs of, and I feel, but are beyond my understanding. But I am realizing what is how vast the spirit world is, and it's a new awakening for me, and it is also motivating, and it's perfectly in harmony with Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, with her way of living, of her acceptance, her composure, her graciousness, her compassion, her sense of humor, her personality, and her courage, her just resolute certainty of who she is and was and how she felt toward everyone. And I've learned so much from her and from the whole spiritual process that I've been blessed to be a part of. Thank you, Raynell. Thank you, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut.
Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Love you, Howard.
We have Giles with us. Giles, I'm going to unmute you here. You should be over here on this deck with us.
Hi, everybody. It's really nice to see everybody. Raynell, thank you so much for the photo yesterday. That helped me feel like I was a part of it. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to do that yesterday.
You could tell that it was just like the whole spirit world was coming together in gratitude that we had followed through with the work. And it's amazing how even in the midst of all the things happening in my community and all the changes and the grief and the sorrow, that it was still important that she's still a relative, that the work happened for her. And when we were done with the work, the Coast Guard, I asked him to stay put at that site just to ensure for a period going on there. And they did. They stayed there for a time being guarding that spot to ensure it was untouched until things settled to where they needed to be. So it was just amazing how all these entities that some didn't even know her came into play. The Bellingham police escorting her on her arrival. I mean, it was just all these things that just fell right into place to honor and respect her.
So awesome. And then I just wanted to say I was a little bit late coming today because I was with the film crew from the Washington Post. And Marcia, I know you had an opportunity to talk with them yesterday, and I'm just so excited about this multimedia discussion that they are going to put out, very, very much focused on Toki. I think I mean, there's obviously a lot of other media that's interested, but the Washington Post is a big one. So it's got such great worldwide readership. I'm really excited about that.
Haishka for working with him too, because I have as well. And it's along the same train of thinking. It's like the more we tell her story, the more we build awareness of what she was trying to communicate to the world, that as humans, we now need to be that advocate and to share, these next steps is critical. And so Haishka for taking part and spending time and energy to build that awareness and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I was muted before, so I'll talk now. No, they're wonderful. And the sense that I got from what they spoke to me about yesterday is Toki's going to be the center of this piece, but it's really going to be all encompassing, including, climate change and who we are as human beings and our stewardship and our future. And it's really going to be beautiful. And I have so much faith in how they're going to present this. I just can't wait to see it. So I thank you, Giles, for participating in that as well. Toki's changing the world, and this is a big part of it. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. There was a memorial video created, and I'd like to share that. I'm having some tech issues, so if it doesn't play, I will share it in a different way. But Deb Cruz, you might have to take over controls once I start playing it. If I don't have the bandwidth, it might kick us off. So be ready, Deb Cruz. Here we go.
Annette, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
It's just a reminder how she was and is and has always been bigger than this life, you know, and now she's free. And yeah, just beautiful. Thank you again, Raynell, for sharing her journey home, and just super blessed that you were there to be part of and to share that with us. So just thank you so very much. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, knowing that she's home. And Giles, I hope you hang up and drive over here. And good. And just know that, you know, I think we've all said it. More to come. Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's legacy. More to come. So, love you guys. Have a great rest of your day and week. Mwah.